mid-sized cities like Seattle, Portland, Denver, and Cincinnati. Wages, however, remain stagnant, putting tenants in a bind. There is not a single county in the country where a full-time, minimum wage worker can afford the average two-bedroom apartment. Rent burdens, the percentage of income tenants put toward housing, are becoming oppressive, particularly for people of color in segregated neighborhoods. Around the country, rent burdens in Black neighborhoods average 44%. In Latino neighborhoods, it's 48%. Every month in New York City, almost 2 million people pass most of their income to landlords. With wages flat, many people, even those with full-time jobs, simply cannot afford stable housing. Last year, as cities and states continued to pass punitive legislation against the poor, about 2 million people in the United States went homeless, and 7 million more lived in precarious housing situations, doubled or tripled up, couch surfing, or sleeping in shift beds. This opens the door to an entire industry of private homeless services, with philanthropic and real estate capital blended to find profits in extreme poverty. The force behind these trends is the growing centrality of urban real estate to capital's global growth strategy. Through this process, the price of land becomes a central economic determinant and a dominant political issue. The clunky term gentrification becomes a household word, and displacement an everyday fact of life. Housing becomes a globally traded financial asset, creating the conditions for synchronized bubbles and crashes. Government, particularly at the municipal level, becomes increasingly obsessed with raising property values and redistributing wealth upward through land and rents. Real estate developer Donald Trump becomes first a celebrity and ultimately a president. Taken together, we witness the rise of the real estate state, a political formation in which real estate capital has inordinate influence over the shape of our cities, the parameters of our politics, and the lives we lead. The real estate state is not new, nor is it all-encompassing. Like the carceral state, the warfare state, the welfare state, or the administrative state, it is an expression of government, a component, a block, a manifestation, a tendency that has been around in one form or another as long as states and private property have existed. Landowners have been determining the shape of cities for centuries, and the idea of housing as a commodity, even as a financial asset, is not exactly state-of-the-art. What is relatively new, however, is the outsized power of real estate interests within the capitalist state. As real estate values have risen to absurd heights, so has the political force of real estate capital. The real estate state is a feature of government at all levels, from the hyper-local to the global. It is most firmly grafted onto municipal governments, however, because that is where much of the capitalist state's physical planning is done. City planners therefore sit uncomfortably at the center of this maelstrom. Planners manage the levers of urban change and make crucial decisions about land use, transportation, housing, the environment, and more. Though most people have no idea what they actually do, planners have an immense impact on both capitalists and workers in cities and suburbs. In most places, planners are tasked with the contradictory goals of inflating real estate values while safeguarding residents' best interests. Capitalism never made planning easy. Organized money could always thwart the best-laid plans. But today's urban planners face an existential crisis. If the city is an investment strategy, are they just wealth managers? This book is about planners in cities run by real estate. It describes how real estate came to rule and what planners do under these circumstances. Planners provide a window into the practical dynamics of urban change, the way the state both uses and is used by organized capital, and the power of landlords and developers at every level of government. They also possess some of the powers we must deploy if we ever wish to reclaim our cities from real estate capital. Understanding planners is an important way to understand the capitalist state, how it is built, and what it would take to dismantle it. While the nexus of planning and real estate is a powerful dynamic in nearly every city, I mostly focus on the United States, and often use New York City as a prime example. I realize there is some risk in focusing on New York. For a U.S. city, it is exceptionally large.